morning, people. Wonderful sunny day here in Wales, and I hope you're enjoying the same in your neck of the woods. Okay, welcome to my first live on the Vocal Process official Facebook. And today I wanted to talk about what is a voice problem. And a couple of reasons for this. We've been having a number of conversations on one of my groups about what constitutes a voice problem. And, you know, a lot of singing teachers are posting that maybe they're working in higher education, perhaps on a musical theatre course or a performing arts course, and they're saying that their undergraduates are coming in during their first year saying, oh, I've got a voice problem. Oh, good morning, Kate. Nice to see you. Please, people, let me know when you're here because I'd like to greet you. Yeah, people are coming into colleges already at, 18, 19, 20 saying, I have a voice problem. Okay. So the question I want to ask is, what is a voice problem? How do we know if we have one? Did someone tell you? And if someone did tell you, could you have a think about whether they have the knowledge to tell you that you have a voice problem, or if they even have the right? So this is a moment, thank you for the love button. This is a moment for a personal disclaimer. Yes, I am Dr. Gillyanne Kayes, and I do have a doctorate in voice research, but I am not a clinician. I am not a voice therapist. So there are certain boundaries as to what I can tell my students and how I can advise them compared with a clinician. And that's an important thing for us singing teachers to be aware of. So now going back to thinking about what a voice problem is. I had a voice problem. I think it was about 37 years ago, right as my career was sort of taking off, going up to another level. I think I was 26, 28, something like that, 28. Yes, and I had a voice problem. Hello, Tori, thanks so much for joining us. How did I know I had a voice problem? Well, I thought I had a voice problem because when I opened my mouth, the sound that came out was not what it used to be. I was doing the same thing that I had done previously, technically, all of the same things. My voice did not feel the same, and it did not sound the same. As a matter of fact, my voice sounded funny. I used to teach piano in those days, and I can remember talking to one of my little boys and singing the rhythm for him. And of course, being a child, what did he say? Why is your voice so funny? Gosh, I nearly cried. So that might be an indicator that since your voice doesn't sound the same as usual, doesn't feel the same as usual, you're not able to do the same as usual, there might be a problem. Okay. So I would say when you cannot do what you normally do and it impacts on either your professional life or your ability to enjoy yourself in a choir or your ability to communicate with people on a normal social interaction basis, I would say from my perspective as a vocal trainer that might be an indicator that something is going on, and then it's time to seek help. So what about those situations when maybe you can't do what other singers do? I mean, we singers, we love to give ourselves fear, don't we? We have fear of the N word, the nodule word. That was the big thing in when I was performing all of those years ago. Oh my God, I've got a nodule, or oh, I might have a nodule. There's such fear. And you know what? There's shame with it as well. I'll tell you a little bit more about shame in a minute. But what if you can't do what other singers do? You know, maybe you can't do that wonderful power sound that Beyonce does. or perhaps you can't do something that your singing teacher wants to work on with you at the moment, something like the passaggio, or you're having difficulty with the break, or you're having difficulty with finding that mix, all of those things that are words that singing teachers use. Does that mean you have a voice problem? I would say not. I would say that you are in a stage of needing technical skill development, and that will take a little bit of time. And those of us who are teaching, if you find you're consistently having a difficulty with a student, maybe with one of these technical issues, please don't use the P word with them. Okay, it could be that your strategies aren't working for that student. Seek advice from another colleague. This is where social media can really help us, rather than putting on your student the idea that they have a problem. Remember, we don't want them carrying that idea around in their heads. I think that's incredibly important. So yeah, singers and teachers, please pay attention. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about shame, because we are doing a course on February the 2nd. So it's 2 weeks today in London, and it's called My Singer Has a Voice Problem. And there will be 3 of us leading this course. We have a wonderful guest presenter, specialist singing language, speech and language therapist, who, as it happens, is also a singer and teacher, Carrie Garrett. So she's a specialist in voice, and she's also registered as a voice rehabilitation expert. And she will be leading a lot of the course. And I, as part of my contribution to that day, I will be talking about some case histories from singers of mine who've given permission for me to share their stories. And one of them has spoken about shame, and she's spoken about how when you have a voice problem, that it's like a dirty secret, a guilty secret, and you don't want people to know. You don't want bookers to know. And you carry that sort of sense of shame inside. And I can tell you that when I had my voice problem, I certainly felt an enormous amount of shame all of those years ago. And that psychological impact stayed with me for quite a long time. As a matter of fact, I think it's really why I do what I do, because my memory is for 9 months I would open my mouth and I just couldn't rely on what came out. And I did not want anybody else to have that experience. Okay, so if you as a teacher or as a singer would like to find out more about how to understand when your singer might or might not have a voice problem, the questions to ask that you can ask, and maybe to learn some of the interventions that are done by clinicians, not for you to do, but to understand what they target, then please join us on February the 2nd in London. My Singer Has a Voice Problem. You can see the link to it on the events page here, and if anybody can't find it, please pop a note in the comment box. I want you to join this conversation. It's incredibly important, that interface between the work of a clinician and a singing teacher. If you need to know how to find the course, I will put that in the comment boxes. Okay, I'm going to finish now so that I'm within the length for an IGVT. Over and out, and I look forward to hearing from you.